Welcome back, class 9 students. In previous video clippings we have discussed about different types of natural vegetation and the distribution of vegetation, different types of forests, there are different types of distinctive features. So in this portion we will discuss about the wildlife, because wildlife is also related with natural vegetation. If any places the vegetation cover is in very large amount, then at that portion wildlife has a great variety. Like its flora, India is also rich in its fauna. So flora is related with fauna. In previous clippings we have decided that we have read that flora, if flora means the species of plants, then the fauna means the varieties of the animals. The country has about 2000 species of bird. And they constitute 13% of the world's total. There are 2546 species of fish. Can you imagine? There are 2000 species of bird and 2546 species of fish are there in our country, which account for 12% of the world's stock. It also shares between 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians, reptiles and mammals. So now we will discuss that the elephants, which are the most majestic animals among the mammals. They are found in the hot wet forests of Assam, Karnataka and Kerala. Then one-horned rhinoceros. Elephant is known as the world's most majestic animals. Then one-horned rhino or rhinoceros. So these are the other animals which live in the swampy and marshy lands of Assam, because these animals always like the marshy area or swampy area. Arid areas of the Rann of Kutch and the Thar desert are the habitat for wild ass, or you can say camel, very important animal in the desert area. Indian bison, nilgai, these are gazelle, these are also found, and there are different types of species found in our India. Actually, India is the only country in the world that has both tigers and lions. The natural habitat of the Indian lion is the Gir forest in Gujarat. Tigers are found in the forests of Madhya Pradesh, the Sundarbans of West Bengal and the Himalayan region, leopards too. The Himalayas harbor a hardy range of animals which survive in extreme cold area. Ladakh, you know that, which is a very mountainous region. So Ladakh's freezing high altitude are a home to the yak. Like camel is known as the sheep of the desert, but yak is also known as the sheep of mountain or sheep of hill, naturally mountainous area. Yak is very common animal because it can tolerate the extreme cold temperature. Then the shaggy horned wild ox weighing around the ton, the Tibetan antelope, the varrow, the wild sheep. These are some species of animals that are also found in some certain pockets of India. In the rivers, lakes and coastal areas, turtles, crocodiles and gharials are found. And if we know that the bird's life in India is very colorful, there are different types of species, like 2000 species of birds are found in our country. Like peacocks, you know that it is known as the national bird. Then ducks, parakeets, cranes, pigeons, different types of colorful birds are there. We have selected our crops from a biodiverse environment, that is from the reserve of edible plants. We also experimented and selected many medicinal plants if we say that some medicinal plants, then we can say the Sarpagandha, Arjun, Babul, Neem, Tulsi. These are known as the medicinal plants. The animals were selected from large stock provided by nature as milch animal. They also provided as draught powder, transportation, meat and eggs, because animals, wildlife or of animals are also very helpful for our everyday life, because you know that different types of species of animals like you can say pig or goat, or different types of species like camels, so that all the animals give us meat, okay, and sheep gives us wool, right, and some species gives us milk. So that's why animals are also useful. Camel are useful for transportation in the desert area. Yak is also used for transportation in the mountainous area. The fish provide nutritive food. Many insects help in pollination of crops and fruit trees. Exerting biological control on such insects is harmful. So they are interrelated. About 1300 plant species are endangered, and 20 species are extinct. The main causes for this major threat to nature and are hunting by greedy hunters for commercial purposes, pollution due to chemical and industrial waste, acid deposit, introduction of alien species, and reckless cultivation and habitation are also responsible for the imbalance of natural vegetation and wildlife. Because in the previous clippings we have I have told you that we human beings are the responsible for depleting the forest and also the wildlife. To protect the flora and fauna of the country, the government has taken many steps. Now we will discuss about that. So what are that steps? Number one, we can say that 18 biosphere reserves have been set up. Biosphere reserve. Why? To protect flora and fauna. 10 out of these, the Sundarbans, Nanda Devi, Gulf of Mannar, Nilgiri, Nokre, Great Nicobar, these are the important 18th biosphere. So in this biosphere reserve, we can protect our wildlife. Number 2, financial and technical assistance. Financial and technical assistance is provided to many botanical gardens by the government since 1992. And as an example, we can say that Kutch, Panna, etc. Number 3, Project Tiger. Project Tiger, then Project Rhino, then Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other eco-developmental projects have been introduced. Number 4, 103 National Park, 103 National Park, 535 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens are set up to take care of the natural heritage. Okay, so these are the main important thing the government has introduced. All of us must realize the importance of the natural ecosystem. Ecosystem, this term is related with the natural things. So you know that ecosystem is that thing in which the living and non-living things work together. and by maintaining the ecosystem and the maintaining of the balance between living and non-living things, we can sustain our future world. So it is possible if indiscriminate destruction of natural environment is put to an immediate end. This is our only duty. In this map, this red portion, round red portion, it is known as wildlife sanctuary. Star portion is known as bird sanctuary. Then this triangle portion is known as the national park. And all over the India, the government has set up different types of birds, wildlife sanctuary and national park for protecting our national or some animals and different types of species of animals. And by introducing these reserves or the sanctuary, we can save the wildlife. So in this chapter, we have gained the idea about the relation between the flora, fauna, natural vegetation and wildlife, and their relation in between the environment. So at the end of this chapter, we can say that to save our environment, this is also our duty to save our natural vegetation, because this is only responsible for supplying our oxygen, and then the wildlife. So all the things are interrelated. This thing we have to keep it in our minds. So this is our responsibility, because we are the superior, we are the best creation of the God. So that's why this is our duty to protect all the natural thing, to save the world. Okay, thank you students.